Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1750 of What You Up To Now, documenting the journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business, and back and forth again since 2020. With the pandemic and everything, I, like everybody else, needed to make massive changes, and I'd been making changes since 2017 in the businesses that I participated in and how I personally did business and do business. But in 2020, every one of us got a wake-up call. If we weren't prepared, and most of us were not prepared for a pandemic. I'd never thought of a pandemic when I was creating my emergency action plans for my different businesses throughout my career and my business ownership, entrepreneurship, whatever you want to call it. So today, for our annual challenge, the 365-day challenge, to do one thing every day that improves us, we're talking about thinking for yourself and how do we go about doing that. And so I shared 7 different tips and things to consider as we're thinking for ourselves and forming our own opinions without undue outside influence, and the importance of having a process. I think I didn't even talk about that, but I think it's important that we have a process for how do we analyze things, how do we make decisions, how do we decide, how do we know that we're getting the right advisors and the right advice to make different types of decisions in our life. If we are making a decision about a relationship, we should only take advice from people that have the type of relationships we want. If we're taking business advice or in masterminds or coaching programs, we should only be taking advice from people that have proven they can either do what it is that we're trying to do or have helped other people successfully do what it is that we're trying to accomplish and do with our business. And that's my basic rule of thumb. Do what I do, and do what I say, but I make sure that I'm setting the example. Same thing with raising kids. Make sure you're setting the example and doing what you're saying you're going to do and doing what you say you will do, and think for yourself. Those are kind of 3 cornerstone bottom line philosophies, and that's part of thinking for ourselves. We have to, number 1, know what we believe in, know what we stand for, know what we stand against, know what's right for us. May not be right for other people, but if it's right for us, we know by the way it makes us feel, the way when we think for ourselves. I don't know about you, but when I think for myself, I feel happier, more upbeat, more energized, more confident, etc. So we talked about thinking for ourselves in the challenge, and what are some ways to go about doing that. And then our action item was just to share a way that you think for yourself, and that you can remind yourself to think for yourself. Because sometimes, and we all have periods of our life like that where we're just going along with the flow in the program. I think back to school especially, there was so much groupthink, I like to call it, and so much peer pressure and so much pressure to be like everybody else and think like everybody else and do what everybody else was doing and wear what everybody else was wearing. And we're all influenced by that. But at some point we say, and we're going to go along with that forever, or we're going to, at other points, we're like, that doesn't work for me anymore. I don't want to be just like everybody else. I want to create this in the world. And then we go out and we create those things. So to coincide with that, our idiom for supersize your business, female entrepreneurs primarily, was to think for oneself. And we just talked about, the importance of having opinions and making decisions based on our own thoughts, feelings, values, beliefs, desired outcomes, not necessarily what everybody else is doing, right? Just because a lot of people believe something or think something doesn't mean it's true, doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean anything. They might just be like everybody else, brainwashed to do and say what everybody else says. I see that a lot in language, and I think that's why I'm so fascinated by language. Somebody will say something. Here's my example. The word dude. My kids were little when dude became a popular way of addressing people and calling people. And I swore up and down I would never say dude. And I remember the day I called my little daughter dude, and I was horrified because I realized that all of the noise around me had snuck into my brain and impacted my actual behavior without my knowing it. And so that was an absolute wake-up call and reminder to me that we're influenced all the time by things outside of us and what we pay attention to. And even if we don't think it's going to show up in our actions and our behaviors and our results, it absolutely positively can, will, and does. And we have to have ways to check ourselves and say, yeah, no, that's not in my vocabulary, not going to say that. Definitely not going to call my daughter a dude, although I've probably done it more than once. So today, have an absolutely amazing day. I'm traveling for probably the next month or so, so expect me to be coming to you from very strange places like Kearney, Missouri, Holiday Inn Express hallway, so that I don't disturb other people and so I can have quiet where I'm making my videos. It was down by a conference room, but it was still too loud with everybody eating breakfast and things. All right, if I can help you anyway, ask, just message me or Voxer me. Voxering is my favorite, pajamagrandma@gmail.com, because I can answer you right away no matter where I am and what I'm doing. I can usually get a minute away to listen to your message and then respond. All right, have a great day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.